Nasdaq's record run. The Nasdaq just hit another record high. Is this a fresh AI-led bull leg, or will it soon be undone?
I want everyone to be very clear. I want you to stop wishing for a NASDAQ pullback because you may have gotten in too late or not at all. I think Nvidia had ushered in probably if we're looking at like the class, like the 96 draft class, this 2025, 2024 class of tech companies are probably some of the best we have ever seen in the history of American enterprise. So will there be a pullback? Absolutely. But I'm seeing a lot of correction talk, a lot of recession talk. Is there a recession in the economy? Yes. And NASDAQ and Nvidia, not so much. Two things can be true at the same time. I think there may be a probability of NASDAQ pulling back to 23,071, somewhere in the area. But as far as a long-term 20%, 30% drop, the companies are too strong. Nvidia, AMD, and I know that chart keeps circling around of Nvidia's growth versus Cisco's growth. The difference is Cisco didn't have the margins, or Netscape during the dot-com bubble didn't have the same kind of architecture in the business model. For a multi-trillion-dollar company, for them to still be operating at 51% net margin is absolutely
55.
That's like a small business operating at 98% net margin. So this is one of the best companies ever. Tesla solid, Apple starting to fight back, Google is solid. Now is not the time to short the market. The real move is to buy in and hold for a long period of time, and don't change that. As I prep for Invest Fast and everything that I want to keep talking about, like someone put in chat, what is Microsoft and Nvidia's all-time return? That's the power what Rashad is talking about. Hey, I had an opportunity to buy a property. Now I take the gains from that property and put it into something long-term. In 20 years, he'll be able to look up and from that initial investment, maybe make $5 or $6 million just holding 20 years. I know now it's being an NBA making $300 million a year, so it won't matter. But this is the power of investing in quality companies. And in 2010 and for 2015, if I told you a multi-trillion-dollar company was going to usher in this wave, and OpenAI hasn't even went public yet, now is not the time to short the Nasdaq. The Russell, the hedge funds have the largest number of shorts on the Russell 2000 in history. That's dramatically different from what's happening in Nasdaq. Please continue to hold for the next 5 years.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting time. And if you look at the bull case, obviously, I mean, just following the trend, if you just from a technical analysis standpoint, you don't see a bear market approaching. In fact, when we talk about, economic indicators, I know CPI is something that gets brought up a lot, and we'll see where inflation is at, but all signs are pointing to rate cuts. And if you know anything about rate cuts for large scale enterprise companies, that's going to help.
Yep.
And so if there's two that are being baked in for this year, we've been saying it's going to be two. September looks like it's going to be the month. We're just a month away from that. You're talking about rate cuts. That's going to help. You're talking about another delay on this China tariff. That helps. You're talking about now we're going to be able to sell not our top tier product in Backwell, but maybe some of our hoppers to China with a 15% quote unquote tariff.
And Trump said he may even let them sell a higher chip version to China.
I was getting there. That was the next thing. So now you're talking about you're expanding that market where you had lost maybe a 15% part of your rep. So like that's there. On top of it, now there's talks that you may be able to sell a higher chip to them. So now you're growing that base. And we're just talking about Nvidia, right? We're talking about that hyperscaler, that economy that thrives and grows off the production of and the progress of Nvidia is just as strong. When you're talking about a Broadcom and you're talking about a Dell, all these companies that are going to benefit from it, all these things help. So will there be a pullback? I think we saw
every day and every week.
I thought we saw two already. Like we saw one in January for sure. We saw one
in April.
Sure. Could we see one here in the next 4 to 6 weeks? I think we'll see a slight pullback. I don't think it'll be something that will over 20%, like a correction. I'm starting to see some analysts starting to predict that there might be one at the top of next year. But right now, that flag is green, man.
The top companies in the Nasdaq: Nvidia, Microsoft, Apple, Google, Amazon, Meta, Broadcom, Tesla. That's not a top 7 or top 5 I want to short.